Here, nice of you to join me, and a very warm welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here with me today, and today we're on part 3 of the little house box and mini album project that I've been making on my channel recently. And in this part we are going to be making up the album to go inside our box. Now if you want to see how we put the box together, then head up here and there is a playlist up there, and that will take you to the first parts in this project. Now there is also a walkthrough that I've done, which is also on that playlist, and that walkthrough I used the papers, the Robot Adventure papers from Craft O'Clock. With this project I'm using Stamperia, and these are the Rose Parfume papers. Now I've got one of each. I've got 2 of the 12 by 12s, one which is the background and one which is the image, and then I've also got 2 of the 8 by 8s, which is exactly the same, one background and one of the image paper pack. Now I may not use all of these, I just like to be over cautious. Now if you want to buy this as a kit, then if you go to tomorrowmortoncrafts.com, I will put a link in the description box down below. Also on the screen is a QR code that you can use your mobile device to scan, that will take you directly to my shop, and it will take you to the page where the little house box and album kit is located. Now in the kit you get all of the pre-cut grey board already cut out, ready for you to go. You'll get the metal embellishments that you'll need, that I've used in the kit. You'll get the acetate, which is one thick piece of acetate and one thin piece of acetate. So the thick piece is for your window and the thin piece is for the photo frames which are inside the album as well. You'll also get the foundation tape that goes with the kit to help you put it together, because I use the tape method to put my projects together. You'll also get 10 strong magnets, a pom-pom for the spine, and a free downloadable PDF cutting guide. So, just a little bit of housekeeping before we make a start on the album. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Everybody that subscribes, comments and likes, it all helps with the YouTube algorithm and helps get my channel noticed, and that in turn then helps me being able to keep these videos for free. Don't forget to follow me on all the socials as well. Links for them are in the description box down below, but if you wait until the end of the video, there is also another QR code that you can scan that will take you to all my links. So let's make a start on the album. In your kit we've got the album covers that we need now. So these album covers are 7.5 by 7.25 wide. So I'm just getting that in place like that. So that's how our album is going to go together. Now I will need my tape, which I've got there, and I will need my gap guides. Now I've got some gap guides that I've made on my website as well. They come in a few different colours, so I've got the lemon sherbet, and I've got a purple, which is these ones here, and I have the clear. Now the clear one, although it looks white, once you take the backing off, is like that, it's clear. so you can have a choice of different colours. I like the lemon ones because you can see them on your desk more, but the purple ones are just as nice as well. So let's get on with putting this together. Now I'm going to put mine together before I edge my edges. So to start with, I'm going to attach my two covers to my spine. So you need a nice long piece of your tape, and you just need to put half of your grey board on one half of your tape. Get your gap guide. Now the gap guides have got two measurements, so on this one you've got 1/4 and 3/8. I'm just going to go with the 1/4 inch gap, like so. I'm going to put that in so it fits over the top in like a right angle, and then this one goes the other side like that. And then using your next piece of grey board, that's just going to go on the other side of that double-sided tape. So now we need to just take out the gap guides, and you can then use the extra part on there as a little bit of a lever just to get them unstuck. So like so. Then pull your tape over the top and burnish that down, and then pull this up to the top. I'm just going to use my scissors and stretch that out and then push that down. So then you've got half of your album already attached. Just double checking, making sure I've got them around the right way. So exactly the same thing. Unroll your tape, grey board on one half, put your gap guides in the top so it sits over that right angle of your grey board, and one on the bottom. Bring in your last cover and just butt that up to that gap guide. Then just lift them very gently, lift them up, and again very gently lift them up as well. Bring that round, and again bring this over the top and just burnish that down in place like so. So that is your two covers attached to your spine. Now all I'm doing now is just going along and just getting out all of the air bubbles. Be very gentle with this, that you don't go through that gap. Okay, like so. So now we come to edge the edges. So it doesn't matter either way, whichever way you want to go. I might as well go with this being the inside. So taking your tape again, we're going to unroll it like so. Bring your album over, and again just placing it half on that tape and half off, and then just cut off this excess. Now cut it off as near to that grey board as you can get, and do the same with this side, as near to that grey board as you can get. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this up all the way over, give it a little wiggle so that it sticks to that very edge, and then just push that over. Okay, and then burnish everything down like so, getting rid of any air bubbles that you may have in that tape. Now I am also going to go along the top here just so that I can get my tape stuck to that very edge of the grey board, and also it flattens out that edge so you get a nice square edge as well. So that's one side. So what we've done to one, we have to do to the next. So again, burnish well. That's it. That way you won't get any creases in your tape. Now if you've got a bit that's hanging over, like there, can you see that bit's hanging over? Just take your scissors and just trim that off, and do the same with this side. I've got some hanging off there, like so. Okay, so then all we've got to do is the edges. Now the short edges. Now they are a little different because you need to put your tape on the very edge. Okay, so it hangs off, so it makes a sort of T shape. I'll show you in a second as I cut that. So can you see it makes like a T shape? So you've got or wings here at the side, so it's on one side and on the other as well. So with this we need to give this a little trim to miter them corners. Okay, like so. And then once you've got that done, just push them down and straighten that out. Give that a nice burnish along the top and along the sides. On the side. And then we come and do this side as well. And we do exactly the same thing. So, ooh, let's just get myself a nice new piece of tape. Okay, so put your tape along the top edge, like so. There we go. I've just cut that tape off. Then miter those corners. Okay, I will just take these bits off my scissors. Okay, make sure you've got it nice and smoothed on the top. Start in the middle and then just push it down onto that grey board. Okay. Now if you've got any creases, I haven't on this one, but if you had, your Teflon tool will iron them out. So just go along the top and along the bottom. Okay, so that then is, how easy was that? So within 10 minutes you've literally got your album together. Next on the agenda is the hinge mount, which goes into your book to support and strengthen the spine, and that is going to be cut at 7 inches by 5 inches. Okay, and I'm just using some black cardstock. Now this black cardstock is 220 GSM, so I've got a offcut of black card here that I had, so 7 by 5. That's it. So that then is the hinge mount that's going to go on to our hinge, and what that's going to do is going to give this your hinge and your book a bit more stability. So with that we need some double-sided tape and our glue. Now with the double-sided tape we need to put the tape near to that spine gap on all 4 sides. So you need to put 2 onto the spine and 2 onto the covers. Now as you notice, I haven't actually gone down any further, that I haven't actually gone all the way down to the bottom of my edge of my album, because when we put our spine mount on, we don't want to see that that double-sided tape poking through. So you've put it onto your grey board, so now you need to put it onto your spine mount. Now I'm going to put this all the way around on all four corners, but I am also going to add some glue towards this as well, because the double-sided tape will stick now, and the glue will help to stick it forever. And I can start by taking the backing off this double-sided tape. That's it. So that's those ones. Put that in the bin. Just take off this backing tape. Okay, now with your glue, we're going to put the glue down each side of the double-sided tape and a line along the top. Okay, so a line down the side, a line on the tape, like so. It's just to help it to stick forever. So again, a line down all sides along the tape, like so. Now we want to avoid putting anything in the middle, okay? That needs to stay clear. So this now is the crucial part. You need to make sure you get as equal gap at the top and the bottom as you can, but it doesn't matter so much on either side onto your covers. The trick is just to try and get it so that you've got it level along the top and the bottom, because we're going to use those as a guide for when we put our pages in. So once you're happy with that, I normally just grab my ruler and I use that then as a resist, and I'm just going to resist that hinge all the way up. So you create your fold. Okay, turn it over. Do the same with this side. Bring it over like so, and then I just give it a little wiggle, so you can just do a bit of exercise and do a bit of wiggling with it, and that then creates your book. So that's then our album near enough done. This album is a bit different because I haven't actually got a hinge system. The hinges are actually built into our pages. I've got 3 here already, so I can cut one on camera. So for our pages, we need to cut the pages at 7.5 by 7. Okay, and then we need to score on the 7.5 side. Okay, and 7, like so. So you've got then your piece of cardstock like so. So I've turned it round, and so that I've got the 7.5 guide or measurement down the side of my trimmer. Okay, and we're going to score that at 1/2 inch. Okay, like so. Now you're going to do that 4 times. I've already done mine, but you're going to make yours do yours at 4. So I'm just going to now just burnish them score lines in. So that's going to give me a nice, smooth, easy page turn. Okay, like so. For our inside, front and back covers, I've already cut my elements out, but I'm going to cut them with you on camera so that you can see a nifty trick of how we get away with only using 4 sheets of cardstock for the whole of the elements on those pages. So the page that we are looking at doing is this inside front and back cover, and they're both the same. So you have a pull-out booklet with a tuck spot. You've got a pocket, a top flap, a bottom flap, and your photo mat pull-out. Okay, so when this then goes back in, the booklet becomes your little clasp to keep them pages from flapping open. So that's what we're aiming at doing. So how do we get away with only doing using 2 sheets of cardstock for this top and bottom flap? So the top and bottom flap, we're going to cut this with our shortest measurement guide down the side of your measurement on your trimmer. So you're looking at it, if you're looking at it like mine, you've got the portrait view. So you're going to cut your biggest measurement, which is the 4.5. Now this is for the top flap, okay? So it's your 4.5. Don't throw this piece away. We're going to use that in a moment. We're now going to cut the top flap the other side, and that is going to be 4.25. Okay, so cut that off. So that is your top flap. So I'm just going to write there top flap. Okay. For the pocket, no, sorry, now this part here is going to become your bottom flap. So you need to cut this at 7 by, and then this is 4.25. 4.25 down there, it just does it. And then that is then your bottom flap. Okay, because we've cut 2 together, we've got the top and the bottom flap. Okay, so that's the flaps. And then so far we've only had that bit that is wasted. So let's throw those in the bin. And we've got this part that's left. So this part can become the tuck spot and the booklet. But I'm going to cut the booklet out first. So you need to cut 2 of these, so make sure you've still got your 2 pieces together. You're going to cut this at 6.5 by 2.5. So 6.5, we're going to come down here by 2.5, like so. Okay, so then that's your booklet. Now I am going to go through the score lines with you in a minute. So then that's the booklet. You've now got this bit and this bit here. Now this can be the tuck spot. Now the tuck spot is 4.5 by 1.75. So 4.5, I think that was 4.5. No. So 4.5 by 1.75. Now this 1.75, if you are going to be using a border die, then you need to make this a little bit bigger. So you could make this to 2.5, because that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make mine at 2.5, and then I'm going to use my border die to cut into it. So I need a little bit of depth, but the 1.75 is a guide, as I say. It depends on what you're going to do. So that then becomes the tuck spot. Now, all in all, so far I've only used 2 sheets of cardstock to create all those elements. So for the photo mats, this is where your second 2 pieces of cardstock come in. I'm just going to use one at the moment because I've cut mine out. So you will have 2 sheets again together. So your photo mats are 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay, like so. So that's your photo mat. This bit that's left is going to become your pocket. So for the pocket measurement, again you need to cut 2 of these. You need to cut it at 8 inches by 3 inches. So the big measurement comes down here to 8, and then you do the 3 down the other measurement, and then that then is your pocket. So for the pocket score lines, we need to score on both short sides and one long side. So the long side up against your trimmer, and we start on the short side and then just turn it 2 times to get your 3 sides scored. So with your pocket, you then need to cut where the 2 score lines meet. You've got a square. Can you see that square? Just there. We need to cut that at a diagonal, okay? Just clipping that, just so that you've got that point still on. Then the top of the glue tabs, just miter those as well, and then we can fold that over like so, and then that gives you a nice crisp sharp point as your corner, okay? And then on the back you've got you haven't got any bulk where those 2 pieces of cardstock meet. If you haven't cut enough off, you can just shave a little bit more off, but then that should be plenty. So that's the cuts. Now going on to then doing our score lines. So we'll start with, let me start with the top flap. So the top flap, you need to have your longest measurement, so your 4 1/2 inch measurement down the side of your trimmer, and we're going to score it at a 1/4 of an inch, sorry, a 1/2 of an inch. So take that up, score, fold over. I will burnish these in a minute. So that then is your top flap scored. The bottom flap, the same principle. Longest measurement down the side of your measurement guide on your trimmer, and we're going to score again at 1/2 an inch. Most of my glue tabs are 1/2 an inch. So fold that over. Again, I will score, I will burnish them scores down in a moment. The tuck spots, again, just score 1/2 an inch on 3 sides, okay, to create your glue tabs. And then, as I said, with this one I used a Cool Cats die and just cut out that part there. If you've got a punch at home, you can use your border punches. They work brilliantly as well. It's just I had that to hand. So I won't do, I'm going to do the other one like that, but I won't do that just yet because I'm only going to decorate the one page on camera. So we're working now on the inside cover. Now you can obviously just take these off if you want to, but it doesn't matter because you're going to cover them anyway. But they do come off pretty easily, just using your scissors. They do come off. So the front cover. Now with the inside front cover, we are just going to stick our our flaps on first. So get in your flaps. So you need one top flap and one bottom flap. We are going to cut into our pattern paper and cut out the base page of this, because our side of our flap, we're going to make a decorative feature of the glue tab. We need to add our base page first. So the pattern paper measurement for the base page will be 7 1/4 by 7 inches. Okay, So let's get my pattern paper. And I'm going to use the backgrounds, and I'm just going to pick one, and it will be this one here. Now you can use your 8x8s for this, but seeing as I've just picked that out, I'll use that. So 7 3/8 by 7. So that's then the pockets. I think that's everything. And you could cut 2 of these because obviously you need like the back cover as well, like so. So that's my pocket. We've done the tops. Yeah, we've done all of it. So make sure just move that out of the way, and bring in then my pieces. It does. It fits on there nicely. So I'm just going to work on what do we always do now. Next? As I said before, I've actually used one of the Cool Cats border dies just to create a little bit of interest on my tuck spot. So I cut this at 2.5 inches. So I've cut it at 2, and then I've scored around the 3 sides. I'm sure I did that. I'm sure I said did them on my tuck. If I didn't, I can't remember whether I showed you the this doesn't matter where tuck spots. Goes. So bring that over, bring that down. Now this may be a bit big. I might have cut it a bit big now. I think that's alright. Let me just check what the size of that was. That was 7. Maybe it's 7. So we cut this base page down to 7. And then I'll take an extra one off this side. That's a bit better. Yes. So amendment to them sizes. It needs to be 7 by 7 1/4. On. You can line it up then with the side of your spine mount, or the edge should I say of your spine mount, and then that will give you a nice even gap all the way around that sheet. So that's that, our first bit of pattern paper on, yay! And you've still got this left, which we can then use to decorate the flaps. So we've got our pattern paper on. Now we need our flap. So we need the bottom flap, and that's going to go on the top. Okay, now I am actually, yeah, I think that would be fine. So with the bottom flap, you need to get yourself a nice gap around the edges. So about 1/8 of an inch gap between your pattern paper and then your flap. So I'm going to use some glue and double-sided tape to help me get it to stick now. So take that bit off. And put your glue over the top, like so. I'm just going to smooth that glue out, and then position it where I think it should go. Try and get it as level as you can. Okay, like so, and then just burnish out. This needs to come over a little bit. There we go. Burnish out. Okay. So that's your top flap. So your bottom flap. So the top flap's going to go on like so, but I'm going to use a different one because that one there the score line wasn't that great, so we'll use this side. So this flap piece is going to go onto the flat piece of the one underneath. So glue double-sided tape on the one side, burnish out, and your glue. Just smooth that glue out, wipe the excess on your apron if you've got one. Don't do what I normally do and wipe it on my clothes. So I'm so used to having an apron on. And then put that on there. Open it out. Now what I forgot to do on this one is just round the corners. So get the right one. So that's then your top and bottom flap on. Now we can put the pocket on, and the pocket is just going to go on the bottom like so. Now you will have a little bit of a gap, not a lot, but just a little bit between your flap and your flaps and then your pocket. So again, the double-sided tape, just along that side and that side and then this side. Now with this one, what I will also do is just mitre that glue tab's edges there at the top so that it's going to sit pretty. You won't see that part of the glue tab along the top. So now I've added my double-sided, time to add the glue. Smooth it out. And let's put it over like so. Now I'm going to stick down stick it all together and then work it out once I think I've got it lined up. So it needs to really line up with this edge here on your flaps and line it up with that side there. Now you could also, which would have looked really nice, is added a decorative feature to this pocket as well. So you could either have used your border punches, or if you've got any border dies, they work, I say, really well with that. But because I've done that on my flap here, I'm going to leave that obviously blank. So that's going to be my tuck spot at the bottom, like so. But I'm going to put my tuck spot up a little bit further, up there, so that I can use the booklet as my closure. So we're just going to go ahead and decorate these. Now in your PDF you have got the pattern paper measurements as well, and they are on page 5. I'll get there in just a moment. Pattern paper measurements. So the inside, front and back cover. So for your base page, 7 1/4 by 7, the top flap is this one here. So you need to cut 4 of these because you need some for this side and some for your back page. So I just need to change that to 4. That's 2, that's right, that's okay. And booklet. Oh yeah, and cut 8, I see. Right, so for the top flap, you will need to cut 4 at 3 7/8 by 4 1/8. 4 of the bottom flap, which will be 6 3/8 by 4 1/8. You need to cut 2 of your pocket, which will be 6 7/8 by 4 1/8. Your photo mats, you will need to cut either 4 or 2, so you could do 2 out of pattern paper and then 2 in your white cardstock, but I'm not going to cover the photo mats until after I've completed the album. That way I can use up all my scraps. The tuck spot, if you have done what I've done and cut them out of your decorative dies, you would have cut your die and your pattern paper at the same, cut your cardstock and your pattern paper out at the same time, so this would be an irrelevant measurement. But if you're not using those, then you need to cut your tuck spot at 3 1/8 by 1 1/8. And then for your mini little booklet, you need to cut 8 of these. Again, less if you're using your white cardstock, but 8 of pattern paper at 3 1/8 by 2 3/8. So I'm going to cut my pattern paper, and then when I come back I'll have had it all cut out. Okay, I've cut out my pattern paper now for my flaps, and I've stuck them on there like so. Now with the pocket, now what I've done is I've only used one sheet of 12 by 12 to cut out the base page, the top flaps on the facing side, and also your pocket. Now you have also got this bit left over, which you could use on your back page if you so wanted, because that will fit the pocket on your back page. So for this now, for your pocket, so once you've cut it out, just add your glue and then we'll stick our tuck spot on the top of that. Now we've also got the booklet that we need to cut out, and we need to score, because I don't know if I told you the score lines for that. So once you get your booklet, you need to score it at 3 1/4 to get your score line in. So just checking, making sure, yes, it all fits. It does. So with your tuck spot, we I'm going to use double-sided tape, but I've put glue on here now. So just put your glue on, and a bit more there. Just smooth it out, and then position your tuck spot where you want it. So it needs to be a little bit down, but you need to have it so that you can get your booklet in, and then that booklet can also then act as your closure. So make sure you get it correct and nice and level. Smooth that out, and then your booklet will fit in there. It should do, and then it holds then your flaps closed. So I'm just going to edge these. Now this one I have had a little bit of an accident. I did cut some of this, came off with my glue, but I'm going to use it because I'm just going to put something in front of that so it hides that where the tape has taken off some of the pattern paper. So that's then that on there like so, and then your booklet will fit in your pocket like so. She says, come on, and you will go like so. So then that booklet is holding then your two flaps in place. So now all you need to do is decorate your booklet and your inside pages as well. Now on the other My Robots one, what I did do is I added a little pocket in on the front of that booklet. So if you wanted to just add that little pocket, all you would need to do would be to use an offcut of cardstock and cut that down. Now, did I use that? Did I? No. All I did was I used some cardstock, some pattern paper that was the same size as your pattern paper of your flap. So that would be 4 1/8. Okay. So this is just an offcut that come off this bit here. So that would then work as your pocket, but then you just need a little bit of cardstock, and this I'm going to cut down to 1 1/8 again, and you could cut this at 1/2 inch like so. Then this gets stuck onto your piece that you've cut off. So let me edge this in the distress like so. Grab your should we say this is going to be called a strengthening strip. So I've put glue on the strengthening strip, and then I'm going to add it to the back of our pocket like so. Okay, and you're just going to have a tiny bit of that cardstock showing like so. Okay, now if you've, like me, and you've overcut it and it's coming out the other side, just use your scissors and just trim off that excess edge. Okay, and then what we can do, which I've used now the wrong piece because that's too small, but that's okay, we'll use that piece. You can then just put your glue around the 3 edges like so, and then just add it over that pattern paper like that, and then you've got then an extra pocket, so then you can put in a tag or something in there to act as another pocket. And then this goes in your, eventually I will get it in. I don't know quite what it keeps getting stuck on. Stuck on something. There we are, done it. So that then is nearly your page finished. Now we've got this black line here. Now again, you can just cover that up. So you can use it as a feature. So that will be 3/8 of an inch by 4 1/8. So just use a bit of your offcut and cut down to 4 1/8, and then by 3/8, then that will give you that little strip there, and that covers that over then. And then your glue. That on there like so. And then it just gives you another little bit of a feature of your page. Now somewhere here I did have some chipboard elements I'm going to use just to put over that rip there. So this one forever seems to be the best one. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to back it onto some black card, cut that down, bring out the big guns, which is the big roll of foam tape, and that could go on the side. And along there, that may be, no, that's just the right height. Take this off, and I'll add some glue, and then that's going to cover that unsightly rip that I've done. And that goes on there. I'll move it over a little bit, push down, and then that covers that rip, and then you've got a nice decorative feature there. Right, let's put our little tab hold onto our top flap. Now in my Robot Adventures book I use the Put It On My Tab stamp set and as a little tab pull. Now you can use the Put It On My Tab die set with the little tabs in to create a little tab hold here, but I think what I should have done is use them beforehand so that it could slot underneath the pattern paper. But I'll do that on the back side. So for this one I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to use the stamp set, but this time I'm going to have the special memories enclosed. I'm just going to put it on this acrylic block and use some black archival ink, and I'm just going to stamp that in the corner. I am going to cut it out so it doesn't matter if it's straight or not, because then we can just cut it out straight with the scissors. So put the lid back on that. Okay, so I've cut it out, and now I just need to cut it down as straight as I can. Like so, and then up there, and then I'll ink the edges as well, just to give that a bit more of a vintage feel. I like to just come over a little bit onto the white card, just to create, just around the corners. There we are. Like so. And then what we can do is I'm going to stick it on here, just there like so, but then behind it I've got a little, so it might be a bit small, but we'll try it. So I've got a 1 1/4 inch punch here, and just using some offcuts of paper, like so, and then this one's got, I'll just go with that, and then we can put this then behind like so, and it just then hides that back piece of your sentiment. So I'm going to use the green side, stick our memories enclosed on first. There we go. So special memories enclosed. And we'll put that there. We can move it in a bit, and then the circle will go behind. So just going to add a tiny bit of glue just on half of your circle, and then that can fit underneath and frame that there. And then you can then cover that part up with your pattern paper, just making sure I've got that straight, like so. Now I might just put a little bit of glue behind that just to hold that onto that little tab. So then that's a little tab hold that we can do. Now I've gone ahead and decorated the little booklet. I haven't done the inside. I will do that with some plain white card, and then that then goes into the little tuck spot, like so. Next job is our white photo mats that are going to go on the inside of the top and bottom flap, and we're going to use the picture perfect stamps to show which size photo you need to add to the photo mats. So let's just double check that. So that would be 6, so I could do that at 3 by 4. So let's cut out our 3 by 4. So we could get that on there. So to get that on like so, this strip of pattern paper here is going to be 5/8. There we go, that's a little better. So I'm going to round the corners on one side of this so that they coincide with the rounding of those corners on your cardstock. Just add some distress ink. So we'll put that like so. Now before I stick that one on, I'm just going to bring in the picture perfect stamps, and there we are. And I need the 3 by 4, which is that one there, which is my beloved one. I use this one all the time. And my little tiny acrylic block, the black ink, and I'm just going to put this there like so. And this can go on the edge there. Okay. Then this can go on that back top flap. We've added a photo mat under the corner there, so enclosed are special memories, and you can put your photo there. So we've now just got this part to do here. Now we can do a 6 by 4 photo mat would fit. That would be the whole page. So we could do that. So let's go with 6 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. So that would just fit on there like so, to give you another place to put a photograph. Around the edges, or those corners, and we can stick it this way, like so. Maybe put a 1/8 of an inch down the side. So using your Picture Perfect stamps again, this time we're going to have the 6x4. So 6x4, get your inks again, and I know what I've done now. I've put this up the wrong way. It needed to be that way, but I can just turn it round. Like so. And then I'm just going to cut a 1-inch, not a 1-inch, a 1/8 of an inch little tiny slither that goes on the side there, and then this is going to be by 4 1/8, like so. Now you may get enough space just to ink those edges a little bit. And then add that on the side. There we are, that's better. Like so. Right, to make the little tag that goes in our little pocket here, I've got a nifty little tool that I bought from Woodware. I've had it for a long time actually, and I keep having trouble getting that in there. Which is a corner punch. It makes a little tag. So you've got two different holes for your tag top, and 2 different corners. Now I'm going to use this one. So just getting some offcuts of your black cardstock, and we've probably got lots. You need to cut this down to 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. Okay, that gives you a nice little size for your pocket there. So I'm just going to put that up that way just for a minute. So once you've done that, you've got your size. Find which tag, your corner you're going to use. I'm going to use this one actually because I've used that one. So you need to just put one corner in, as far as it will go in, punch down like so. Turn your cardstock around over to the opposite side and punch down again, and then that gives you that lovely decorative feature at the top, you see. And then I'm going to use this punch hole because I've used the other one before, and you have got some inside here, you've got some little raised lines which are like your size guide. But before I then punch the hole, I'm going to cut out our pattern paper. So this you need to cut 1/8 of an inch smaller. So it'd be 3 1/8 by 2 3/8. Okay, like so, and then that will give you a nice border all the way around your tag. So taking your paper, again do exactly the same, one side, flip it over, and then do the other corner like so, and then you've got that nice decorative feature. I'm going to just ink these edges to make them stand out a little bit. Oh, one thing I did forget to do was just use your other corner rounder just to round the bottom corners. Now I am going to stick this on before I put my hole through. And just around the bottom corners of your cardstock, got to do it, and then get them in place, and then you should have a nice little border all the way round, like so. And then put it in the one where you want to put the hole, and line it up like so, punch down, and then that will give you your little tag holder that you can put your strings through. So take that off, and I might as well stick that one in there as well, so you've got two. Now on the back of this I did add a piece of white card so that you can do some doodling on and some writing, so I should do that with this as well. So this would be your 2 3/8, and I'm going to cut this down to 2 7/8, because I don't want to go above that line there. So round the corners of the bottom of this. You can also round the top corners if you want to. It might be a nice little feature. So yeah, that looks actually quite nice with them rounded, both edges, both corners, or all corners. And then position that in like so, and then that is another little tag that you've got that you can just put in there just as an added little more photo opportunity, like so. Right, we're going to go ahead and do our photo mat now, and I'm going to use put it on your tab dies, and I'm going to use these two dies here. Now there is a few different widths and heights of tab dies in this set. You've got 3 different ones, and they're all different sizes. So you have got, I'm going to use this one here. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I'm going to use, yes, I am. I'm going to use the big thick one, and I'm going to use the layering die with it. So I'm going to cut out of some scrap cardstock to cut out my tab, and then I'm also going to cut out the layering die, but that is, I'm going to cut that out of some scrap of pattern paper. I can get that out now. Patterned paper, which I've got here. So, and that's this one. So again, I'm going to be just there. I'm going to cut 2 pieces out, so I'm going to just half that and cut out some of the pink, I think. And as you can see, it goes through 2 pieces quite easily. You probably could have got away and cut 3 out at the same time. So I've cut out my 2 pieces. I'm only going to use one, but I'm going to use both of these layers. So getting your distress ink, just ink those edges. And then they can fit on like so. But what I'm going to do is fit my tag onto my page first, onto my photo mat. Get that in correctly, just to make sure that it is going to fit, and it will. And if I move it down a little bit, there we go, to about there. So get your glue and you can fix it then to your photo mat. So I'm going to glue all of it inside and then use the back and just line it up with the top there of your book. I'm just coming in a little bit like so, and then you can stick on your little layer piece like so, and then I've got the one for the back as well. So we go on the back. This side I'm going to have the green showing like so, and then we can cover the top part with some of the white cardstock. Now this white cardstock is 210 GSM. It's not as thick, which makes it ideal for your mat and layers. So this is going to be 6 1/8 by 4 1/8, like so, and then that's going to fit on the top there. So I'm going to round the edges, sorry, the corners, 1, 2, and so that's going to fit up there like so. And then I've got this part down here which I am going to use as just add some of my scrap cardstock on there when I get some more. I think I've used most of mine. So before I do that, let's just put our stamp on that says it's a 6x4 photo. Put it up the right way, and then it goes on like so, and then that can be fitted and glued. Put a bit more glue on that side. Okay, and that's fitted on the top. And then when I get some extra pattern paper, I will just pattern that underneath. So that can go in there like so. And then find the little notebook, and then that goes in there like so, and then that holds everything in place. So I'm going to leave it there for this video. I'm going to go ahead and do my back page. In part 4 we will do the first page and get that stuck in as well. So the first page will be our credit card slot that we've got to do, and it will be the belly band as well, because that's a really nice page. So thanks ever so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment and like something. It really does help with my YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate every single one of you that does subscribe. I will put a QR code up here, just here somewhere in there, that will give you all the links that you need to follow me on all the social medias. Just use your smartphone just to scan that code, and it will take you to a site called Linktree, and that is just a page with all my socials on, and you can just scroll down to the exact one that you want to follow. I also have a Facebook group called Memories Paper Arts, so please come and follow me and join that group. It isn't just for the crafts that you make using my tutorials. It's for any crafts that you do, so please come and join our really fab group. We would love to have you. So wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing, please have the most amazing day, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye.